That sounds fucking horrendous.
It does.
Like, really, it sounds bad. Fuck. It's so bad. Holy
The
fuck.
greatest thing ever made. I don't know what you're talking about. I think all future Dragon Ball Z fights should just
Gogeta.
be the name of the two
Gogeta.
people fighting,
Goku.
repeated over and over again.
Goku. Vegeta. Alright, listen. We just got back from seeing the Broly movie. There's a bunch of people sitting in this room right now. We got Little Wolf. We got Mechlix. Big Wolf is out there somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. He's not in here. But there's a few things about the movie, right? Like I think we can all collectively say that as far as the writing goes from Toriyama, it's the best movie he's ever written. Like
Definitely, hands
for
down.
sure.
Yeah.
Like out of any of them, it doesn't even matter, Dragon Ball or not. Anything that he's written, it's definitely his best work. God, was the soundtrack fucking awful though.
Ruined the movie.
Like honestly, it was so bad. Like it was some like. I was saying in the car on the way back here, I can't wait till someone uploads the movie on YouTube and then puts the Bruce Falconer music to it because it's gonna just be so much better. Like as that, it's not very good. The soundtrack is just not very good, but the movie itself was great. The writing was pretty good.
It's weird, and maybe just because we saw it in a movie theater, the soundtrack was meh, but the sound, just being in the movie theater and just having like the giant boom, like every single punch, just felt so great.
Yeah, I think like having seen it in a movie made it a lot better. Like actually in a theater instead of like watching it at home, just because you have like the enhanced like sound.
Yeah, like what?
Everything was like boom. I think in the beginning though, I felt like the dialogue sounded weird, like it was far.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. Kind of a little fucking weird. But like the animation, when it was animation, was pretty decent. There were fight scenes. I thought that the fight scenes in Resurrection of F were better.
No.
Like choreography wise, I thought they were better. Like this was on a way grander scale in terms of like showing off power. But in terms of fight choreography, I really think Resurrection of F did it better.
I think I need to watch Resurrection F again because it was good. I don't know. I'm still on the hype train for this movie because everyone's fighting just felt different. Like Vegeta like punching away, like Goku getting all artsy.
It was more of a Dragon Ball Z vibe than a Dragon Ball Super one.
That's what I said.
The fighting felt more like it did back in the days of Z.
Yeah.
Right,
Definitely.
and it definitely looked that way, and in a lot of ways, that kind of the nostalgia comes from that is way more satisfying.
Part of me was just thinking, like, while watching this, like, okay, now why wasn't Super just this?
No, yeah, really. Like Super should have just been a lot of that. I think that they handled Broly fairly well. They gave reasons for why they did everything. Like, there's a reason he shoots beams from his mouth.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he doesn't, like, have any morals. Like, he's pretty much a savage Saiyan. He's what a Saiyan is.
He's like a
He's
feral
savage.
child.
Exactly.
Like, you know, he just kind of grew up doing this, and this is what he does.
Exactly. And it's... I thought some of the things that happened in the movie would have, like, happened differently.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the way that they unfolded were way more satisfying after seeing them in the movie than what I conjured up. Like, I thought, like, Paragus would die a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought, I don't know, I thought they'd go
give
part...
a moment to shout out. I loved their Paragus in this movie.
Yeah, Paragus.
Like, Paragus actually had a character.
Yeah, he was terrible in the original. Yeah, he was a dick. But at least in the original, like, he was just way more bland in the original one.
So was Broly.
Well, yeah. Broly only said one word.
Kakarot!
That was the last. You know, Kakarot is the last line of this movie.
Yeah.
Kakarot is the last
They
line
did that
of
shit
this
on
movie.
purpose.
Goku goes, he can call me Kakarot, and the movie fucking ends. I thought that was amazing. I could have sworn there would have been like a Kakarot, but no, you know.
We were half convinced that was going to be all of Broly's dialogue, given past movies.
But I think it was the same voice actor as the original Broly, and he did a good job. Do you know that the voice actor for Ash Ketchum was in this movie?
Who did he play?
Barry Blue.
That old blue chick.
That old blue
wow.
bitch who was like, he's gonna wish to be taller, which is hilarious. Frieza only
The
wanted
delivery of that, like, after Bulma's.
to grow
Love
5 centimeters. So in this movie, they have a part where Bulma's on screen, and Bulma's like, I want the Dragon Balls to wish myself 5 years younger. And Whis is like, why only 5 years? And Bulma goes, because it'll be too obvious if it's more than 5 years.
Mhm.
And then they go to, switch the view to Frieza in the next scene, and Frieza's like making the audience and like the characters guess what he wants to wish for.
Immortality?
And you're like, immortality, to be stronger. And he's giving all these reasons like, I don't want to be immortal. I lived in that fucking sack. I just wanted to fucking
Like,
die.
going
I
on
do not
forever
want
is
to be
terrible.
immortal.
It's like,
And it's like he's learning. Like, in a way, he's like learning.
Mhm.
Even Frieza's learning. But also, there's a point where this character, Berry Blue, in probably like her only line, I think, in like the
Mhm.
movie, is like, Frieza just wants to be 5 centimeters taller. And Frieza goes, that's exactly right. I just want to be a little bit taller. And then the other guy goes, why only 5 centimeters? And he goes, because it would be too obvious.
Like, I need to make
That
this
made me
look
laugh.
natural. I'm still growing.
That was actually hilarious. But overall, the movie was really good. The ending scenes were really good. Biggest gripe being obviously the soundtrack, which is so bad.
Fight during the song during the final fight just ruined that fight.
It's so bad.
I couldn't focus on the fight. I was just hearing that song.
I didn't really care because I'm just riding the hype train.
Yeah, but like I think what they ended up doing was really good. It paid off. It looked cool. I wish they wouldn't have used CGI. I kind of felt like
CG
It
zoned
did feel
me out.
jarring. I
It
definitely
was
felt
jarring to switch between 2D
it's so
and
weird.
3D.
And like one of the first shots in this movie is a CG shot
Yeah.
of like the
Mhm.
bottom of Frieza's, like the Frieza forces.
I didn't
ship.
mind it for the ship. It like
Like, for
threw me
the
out
ship
when they
is
used it
fine.
for the fight.
They did it for
looked
the
like
fights in the
when
character.
Blue Goku was fighting Broly, it looked like straight from Fighter.
Yeah, like straight out of the
Yeah,
video
straight
game.
out of the game.
That's literally. It's like, am I watching the video game cutscene? And like I'm sure the video game wasn't as much in the budget as this movie was, So
They saved all of the budget for
they saved,
Vegeta.
they saved all the budget for like the end
Yeah.
and the Goku fight after he turned blue. I thought seeing Vegeta as God was one of the coolest parts of this movie.
That
That was
amazing.
awesome.
Like red Vegeta, bro. He was
Looked
awesome.
really cool.
We were talking about
And they
this,
showed like a bunch of new Goku moves. And obviously Gogeta's a completely different character.
Goku in his god form, like putting his ki around Broly to stop him. That was.
Yeah.
What the
I
fuck
was
is
like,
going
what?
on?
But also, like,
So
Broly
crazy.
learning on the fly, just pulling that back on him.
Yeah.
Like, the
Oh,
next
yeah,
scene
it makes
that was
sense.
really good.
Broly's nuts. But I mean, I wish they don't really give a reason as to why he's so strong.
Well, he's the legendary Super Saiyan.
But that's not an actual thing in this movie.
No, they said it is.
Hey,
In the
you're
No,
beginning.
not
they said it
dealing
was?
with
Yeah,
the
the King
ordinary
Vegeta said
Saiyan.
Yeah, you're dealing with
You're
the
not
legendary
dealing
Super Saiyan.
You're not dealing with an ordinary Saiyan.
That was your fault.
No.
You're dealing with a Super Saiyan. I love how Vegeta's like, you mad because my dad did something to you? Leave me the fuck
That's
out
not
of
my
it. Like,
problem.
it's really not my fault. Leave me alone. And Goku's like, yeah, come on. This is ridiculous. They still had the collar. It was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shock collar now.
Yeah, it made more
He-
sense now.
he's
They
a
like
puppet.
tried to give a reason for everything
Yeah.
they did in the first
In the
one.
first movie, they're like, it's a mind control collar. They're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Like, we could do that now?
Like, what? Every time I press the button, he just like pumps fucking morphine in his veins. Horse tranquilizers. The old Broly got horse tranquilizers. Every time he hit the button, he was like, "Oh God, am I fucked? I'm not angry. Where am I? Kakarot!" In this movie, it's more like he gets shocked, and that's why just like I guess.
You gotta suspend your disbelief and think, like, electricity could do anything to goddamn Broly.
I mean,
But if you can get that
it's just
far, then
hilarious
it's
because when he powers up, there's like electricity around him. So what the fuck is the difference? You know, what's the difference between the electricity in the shock collar
okay. Yeah.
and the electricity he generates from his own muscles? Like,
Yeah.
what's the fucking difference? But you know, whatever.
But
Well, it wasn't
it's,
really a shock collar. It was a thunderbolt collar.
I guess.
Dude, I was pissed that
This was crazy.
Vegeta went blue and he didn't go evolved blue. He should have went
Yeah.
instantly evolved blue.
Goku couldn't go UI either.
But that's expected.
I don't think they either of them remember how to do it. They just were pushed to
Yeah,
like their
that's
brink.
stupid.
Goku tried. He tried to go UI for a second. You saw the aura.
When are they
come
gonna
out.
bring UI back? Because they're just gonna eventually. I thought they were gonna bring it back in this movie, but they didn't. They switched it. They did something else entirely, which worked out in their favor still. But you know, it still would have been
I'm
cool to
actually-
see Gogeta go UI.
They need it for the next tournament.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably
I'm
mostly.
I'm curious. So this is canon. This is part of the
Yep.
universe now.
That's canon now.
So the thing is, like, I understood why we never saw Gogeta throughout all of Z until like the one movie and like nowhere else, is because if Goku and Vegeta can just fuse at any time, there's a lot of situations where like the go-to is gonna be like, all right, well, let's just fuse. That'll like
I
ragdoll
think
this
it's just,
bad
nah.
guy. Now.
I think
Like,
Vegeta's.
Pride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think Vegeta. I think they're gonna use Vegeta as the plot device to not have that happen.
I think
all the
they
time.
have to now because there's got to be a lot of situations where it's going to be like, you know, we could probably throw a Gogeta Blue at this and it'll solve our issue.
I think even more interesting is that Gogeta now, this Gogeta is way stronger than Blue Vegeta. Way stronger
Yeah.
than Blue
He
Vegeta.
Yeah.
broke dimensions.
And what's weird about it is they explained it like when you do the fusion dance, you not only merge both powers, but you multiply it.
Yeah.
And it makes fucking sense.
Mhm.
Because in the fucking Boo saga, when Goten and Trunks fused, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their
it
powers both
amplified
like
their
I
power.
couldn't sit there like I like Vegeta more than Gogeta. This
I know you
Gogeta I probably like more than Vegeta. Because
Ooh.
he's a
Bringing
badass.
you to the Gogeta side.
He's really like they did so much
I
more
was-
with him. He had half and half fighting styles.
Well,
Dude's
like,
fighting style was
he kind of
sick.
had his own. Like, he did all this, like,
He
precision
did
and,
all
like,
the-
flips and
so-
spins and shit.
so
yeah,
where-
it was sick. Like,
So where Vegeta is much more.
But Vegeta has
he's
his
a-
own fighting style, too,
Dude,
and it's
I
awesome.
think Vegeta's
Yeah.
fighting style was different in this movie than any other thing
all
we've
of their
seen.
fighting styles,
Yeah.
honestly.
I don't know. Like Vegeta, like a lot of times in Super, like he would just like run and try to punch shit a bunch.
Yeah, but in this
it
movie,
just
he
looked
was
so
flipping
bad, But this
around.
time, like
Like,
everything just kind of felt.
but like there was,
Intentional.
but there were moments where he was like
Fluid.
flipping
I
around,
just
like
feel
he was
like
spinning
Vegeta's
up
a
on his
smarter
feet.
fighter
Yeah.
now.
Vegeta's,
That's what it
well,
is.
yeah, he's just stupid. He's a really good.
He doesn't
fighter.
just go in there anymore. He's just
Yeah.
he's smart about it.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like Gogeta's fighting style, they actually made it look like, okay, this is half Vegeta, half Goku,
hmm
and all his entire moveset was like that.
I
thought
definitely
it was
like.
just-
I love this
I like
version of
what they did.
Gogeta.
Yeah, it's
like,
great. It's the best Gogeta's ever
best
fucking
one.
been.
Mhm.
This is the best
I
Broly
mean,
has ever
Gogeta's
been.
never spoken
The
before.
only
until now.
listen.
Well, no,
the
he
one
said
thing the
it's over,
story
Janemba.
did.
I've come for you.
The one thing the story did that they retconned that really fucking pissed me off is that Bardock wasn't a genius scientist.
He wasn't the brilliant scientist.
That he was supposed to.
That-
Bardock,
No,
they
he's-
still
he's
portrayed
never been
him
a
as
brilliant
being
scientist.
smart though. Like he thought he like figured out Frieza's plan
Well,
before
well.
anyone.
And they also portrayed him as being the only person who tried to fight against.
No,
like
they,
the
they
blast,
saw other
like-
people up there, but
Yeah,
he's just
that
the
kind
only
of took a
strong
little bit
one.
away from that. That like Bardock didn't have
It's
his
just
like
ridiculous.
his final one-on-one with Frieza.
He
Yeah,
is right,
I wish
that
they would have
one.
done it that way.
He's
But,
gonna
like-
come back in time as a Super Saiyan.
but I guess it also
Yes.
doesn't make sense
I
that
didn't get to that
Bardock
one
is
yet.
flying through space
Well,
and
that's supposed to be
breathing.
canon,
Yeah.
so apparently he
Yeah.
is back
I
in
don't
He's
know.
time.
gonna
Sometimes
come
they
back
get like
as a
pretty
Super
close to
Saiyan,
the
exactly.
atmosphere
Yeah.
and they take a little bit of creative freedom.
Yeah, but like everything will look pretty good.
Yeah.
They did like it visually. It was great when it wasn't CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
CGI
CG
didn't look
like,
bad. It was just kind
It
of
didn't look
weird
bad,
to, like,
it was just
throw in
different,
out of
It's
yeah.
nowhere.
weird in
There's just-
contrast.
There's some things you can do with 2D that you just can't do with CG. Like
3D,
2D,
yeah.
if you take those freeze frames people do to say, "Oh, look how bad this animation is," and someone's like face is stretched, it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's called a pull. It's an animation
Yeah.
thing where you kind of like blend different frames together, and you can't do that with
Right
3D.
with 3D. you're
So
right.
like it kind of just like got clunky in the middle of like what looked like the most like fluid fight I've seen
Yeah.
in so long.
They should have kept it. I think hand drawn throughout because they could have done more with it.
I think so too.
But
maybe that's
the
just
budget.
maybe that's the animation studio. They're like,
think it's the
listen, we've got
budget,
a
yeah.
3D team, we got a 2D
It's
team.
well, I
and you
think
gotta
part of
use
it is
both.
like we're making it this magnificent thing. You know, the soundtrack shouts everybody's fucking name.
Do you not?
So we're gonna throw some like 3D in there, blend it, and make it this really big theatrical thing,
Yeah.
which they didn't do with the other movies. and they shouldn't have done
They
it. This
pulled a
movie
little
out.
bit of 3D out in Resurrection F, if you remember.
Yeah, but it wasn't like
didn't
an
look
abuse
terrible,
of it
But
like this. This was an abuse.
I
Like
mean,
the
it was
3D
jarring,
parts.
but it didn't like throw me out of the movie.
No,
for using
no,
it. Like,
definitely not.
You definitely
Still,
noticed the
look.
moment it turns on and off.
Yeah,
but
for sure. For
it
sure.
was not. It was not like the kind of 3D where you're like, oh god, what year is it?
It's a different animation team than what they're used to with Super. Also, I think they're pretty good.
I just thought I was watching Fighters for a minute there.
Yeah,
It's-
for
it was no
a movie.
Berserk.
It's
Yeah.
still better than Berserk.
So what would you? So what do you guys think in general about the movie? If you had to rate it like on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Give it about a 9. Soundtrack loses a point for me.
Yes. Gogeta.
I would give it a 10 on a Dragon Ball Z rating, as in like this is just the highest we've gotten so far, because there were definitely things that like weren't great, like oh the soundtrack didn't fit here, or it got like a little jarring with like the 3D switch, or hey maybe the story wasn't that great. But
Right.
I was going to this movie for Goku, Vegeta, and Gogeta versus Broly in like a no holds fight.
Yeah.
And they didn't even like pussy out at the end like they did with Vegito,
No, they didn't hold
where it's
back
like,
at all.
oh, it like unfused, and now you gotta have
He was
something
about
else.
to
No,
kill
it was just
Broly.
like
Yeah.
so definitive.
Yeah,
that
Gogeta was
Gogeta
gonna kill him.
won
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
by like a mile.
Wasn't
Yeah.
even a competition.
I give it a 10 just because I got what I wanted.
Yeah,
Like, see,
yeah,
like
no, yeah.
everything
I
I could have
agree.
hoped for, I
I
got
agree.
from this movie.
I can't give it a perfect score because there are some things I didn't like about it, but I will agree with a 9 out of 10. I think a 9 out of 10 is fair. I think it's the best Dragon Ball movie there's been
I
out of
think.
all of them.
Oh,
I would-
I'd give it an 8.
Okay.
Why?
One, the CG was so jarring.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
CG took
The
me
CG.
out of it.
Right. What else?
And that effing song.
The soundtrack. Can we play that song?
Oh,
Can we play
yes,
them out with that song?
absolutely.
Guys,
The
I
song
hope
that's
you
good.
really enjoy this, okay? It's a really good song. This is very good music, okay? This music you play in big budget movie.
I'm gonna work out this music tonight.
Right?
When I go to the gym, skipping some notes like those two.
Wait for it. Where's the moment? You know the one I'm thinking.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
It's like old video game music.
It's like a 90s arcade game.
Sounds like a family song. This is like towards the end.
Maybe it was.
But we'll go back. Hold on. That's how the song starts
This is
out.
definitely no, what was it? Freeze, a freeze, a freeze.
So bad.
I think they're just gonna make songs that do nothing but.
Super Broly! It's so bad.
Obviously, that's when he's in a Super Saiyan.
Gogeta! Soundtrack is fucking bad. Everything else is pretty good though.